Hello students, welcome to this English lecture. In last video lecture, we studied the second part of the story. In today's lecture, we are going to learn a remaining part of the story, part 3, and the third and last passage of the story, An Astrologer's Day. It is started from stop, sit the other till last line of the story. He said, yawning and stretched himself on the pile. So this is the last part of the story. Just I read and explain. Stop, said the other. I don't want all that. Shall I succeed to in my present search or not? Answer this and go, otherwise I will not let you go till you disgorge all your coins. The astrologers muttered a few incantations and replied, all right, I will speak, but will you give me a rupee if what I say is convincing? Otherwise, I will not open my mouth and you may do what you like. After a good deal of haggling, the other agreed. The astrologer said, you were left for death. I am right. Tell me more. A knife has passed through you once, said the astrologer. Good fellow, he bared his chest to show the scared. What else? And then you were pushed into a well nearby into the field. You were left for dead. I should have been dead if someone passerby had not chanced to peep into the well. Explained the other, overwhelmed by enthusiasm. When shall I get at him? He asked, clenching his fist. In the next world, answered the astrologer. He died 4 months ago in a far-from town. You will never see any more of him. The other groaned on hearing it. The astrologer proceeded. Guru Nayak, you know my name? The other said, taken aback. As I know all other things, Guru Nayak, listen carefully to what I have to say. Your village is 2 days' journey due north of his town. Take the next train and be gone. I see once again great danger to your life if you go from home. I took out a pinch of sacred ash and held it into him. Rub it on your forehead and go home. Never travel southward again. And will you live to be 100? Why should I leave home again? And others said reflectively, I was only going away now and then look for him and to choke out his life if I met him. He shook his head regretfully. He has escaped my hands. I hope at least he did as he deserved. Yes, said the astrologer. He was crushed under a lorry. The other looked gratified to hear it. The place was deserted by the time. The astrologer picked up his articles and put them into his bag. The green shaft was also gone, leaving the place in darkness and silence. The stranger had gone off into the night after giving the astrologers a handful of coin. It was merely midnight when the astrologers reached home. His wife was waiting for him at the door and demanded an explanation. He flung the coins at her and said, count them. One man gave all that. 12 and half annas, she said, counting. She was overjoyed. I can buy some jaggery and coconut tomorrow? The child has been asking for sweets for so many days now. I will prepare some nice stuff for her. The swine has cheated me. He promised me a rupee, said the astrologer. She looked up at him. You look worried. What is wrong? Nothing. After dinner, sitting on the pile, he told her, do you know a great load is gone from me today? I thought I had the blood of a man on my hands all these years. That was the reason why I ran away from him, settled here and married you. He is alive. She gasped, you tried to kill him? Yes, in our village. When I was a silly youngster, we drank, gabbled, and quarreled badly one day. Why think of it now? Time to sleep, he said, yawning and stretched himself on the pile. Now, according to the third part of the story, the writer explains here the stranger strikes a match light of the cheroot, and the brief light of the flame illuminates his face enough for the astrologers to see his identity. The astrologer gets very uncomfortable and tries to wriggle out of the wagon and go home. The stranger will not allow it, grabbing him by the arm and keeping him there, determined to expose the astrologers as a fraud or learn something useful. Had the astrologer not pushed the stakes so high, it is possible that the stranger, later revealed by Guru Nayak, a man the astrologer thought he had killed, would have let him live, but his self-interest has trapped him. The fear he now feels is the part of his own safety, but also of the prospect of shedding his false identity and facing his past as well as his guilt. The astrologers, fearful now, tries several times to offer the same value, practicing advice that has satisfied our customer in the past. The strangers, however, will have none of it. The astrologer says a silent prayers and the changes tactic, revealing to the stranger that he knows that he was stable and left for dead some years ago. Although the astrologers has been offered the opportunity to take responsibility for his crimes and be an honest man, he never even appears to consider it. Instead, he goes on opposite route, using his own experience and craft a more convincing lie. The stranger is now filled with enthusiasm, convinced that the astrologers must truly possess cosmic wisdom. He inquires when he will be able to find that man who attacked him, so that it man kill him. The astrologer replies that it will not be until the next life, because his attacker died several years ago in a different village. The stranger is disappointed at the news. However, the astrologers offered him some satisfaction by telling him that the man he seeks was crushed under the lorry, means truck, at the least met his grisly undyed end. Guru Nayak nearly exposed to astrologers and forced him to the truth. Alas, the astrologers misses the chance to live with sincerity. Worse yet, he uses his past connection with Guru Nayak to permanently put to death his true identity. The astrologers will never live up to what he has done. He has killed the man he used to be, the said Guru Nanak, with false justice. The astrologers reveals that he knows the man's name Guru Nanak as well, crediting his own omniscience. He wants Guru Nanak to return to his village and never venture this way again. The great harm will befall him. Guru Nanak conceded for now that his assailant is dead. He has no more reason to wander about. Guru Nanak gives the astrologers a fistful of coin and leaves while the astrologers packs his equipment. The last shaft of green light has also vanished. The use of Guru Nanak names implies that the astrologers had reasonably close relationship with him. He was not a stranger when the astrologers tried to murder him, making the astrologers a fairly villainous characters. Beyond rejecting the chance of confessions, the astrologers believes what amounts to the astrologers threat to Guru Nanak to give up his search. The light has all gone from the marketplace, as has the astrologer's potential for virtue. The astrologer returns home to his wife. And a daughter in the dark of midnight. His wife is angry at him until she sees the money he has made from Guru Nanak. Though the astrologer curses Nanak when they realize that Nanak has slightly underpaid him, she remarks that her husband seems troubled, though he brushes it off. As they are lying down to sleep, an astrologer tells his wife that a great weight has been lifted from him today. For 4 years he had believed he had murdered Guru Nanak when he lived in his home village. But now he sees that he is not a murderer after all. His wife is shocked at the revelation that her husband once attempted murder, but the astrologer dismisses his crime as the folly of youth. Though it could be surmised earlier, his wife's response to the money confirms that their family is quite poor. The astrologer is also quite pretty for a holy man, cursing Guru Nanak that his large sum of money wasn't large enough, rather than being thankful for escaping with his life. When the astrologer reveals his past crime, his wife is shocked, but he does not seem to understand the severity of what he has done. It is satisfied merely in the fact that he is not a true murderer, and goes to sleep truly false and hypocritical man. He has destroyed any opportunity for an honest, authentic life. So, in this way, R.K. Narayan written this astrologer's death story very beautifully. He explained. He shown the real life of the peoples. Those are facing lot of trouble in their life. Now let's see the theme of the story. The main theme of the story is that mysticisms and religious hypocrisy. Indian writer R.K. Narayan, an astrologer's day, tells the story of the fraudulent astrologers who makes his living by selling cosmic insight by Gulblian villagers. Although he has no knowledge of the cosmos or actual spiritual insight, The astrologer exploits his customers' search for meaning and reassurance, robbing his lives in the vagaries of mystery and religion. Narayan's portrait of astrology and a holy man does not eviscerate or prosecute religion, but certainly prods at it. So this is the theme, mystic and religions. Next important theme is that guilt, fear and identity. The astrologer is not truly an astrologer, but merely a man misquoting as one. He has taken on a new fabricated identity to escape the just consequence of this attempt at murder. The astrologer no longer has any opportunity to practice authenticity. His livelihood, marriage, and very survival are all predicated on lies. Narayan uses the astrologers to contemplate the ways in which fear and guilt can push an individual to live an unauthentic self-discipline. Third important theme is that modernization, tradition, and inequality. Throughout the story, Narayan intentionally contrasts the mix of ancient and the modern, primitive and sophisticated that makes up modern India, particularly in the rural regions under British occupation. India was the thrust into the modern world as the ruling class introduced technology and built infrastructures to suit their own taste. Because of the speed at which this happened as compared to the gradual progressions of technology in Europe or America, much of the development happened unevenly. So this is the very beautiful story written by R.K. Narayan, An Astrologer's Day. Thank you.